is going on, guys? That's right, we're back and we're talking the Raiders victory that was yesterday. The 31 Chargers, Oakland Raiders 34. Now, this was a fantastic, just another heart attack type of game, man. I mean, it was absolutely bananas. Of course, heading into, I did make a video about keys to winning against the San Diego Chargers, and you got to give it up to the defense stepping up by getting a lot of takeovers throughout the game. I mean, Breeze was still money towards the end. I mean, they still caught up. We had a 2-score lead, yet we weren't able to get the first down towards the end of the game, and then they had a chance to tie the game, and if it wasn't for their punter, we're looking at overtime. Their punter really just fucked up the whole thing. So that punter of the Chargers is my number one guy, and plus he botched a punt that gave us excellent field position. So field position, defense, and the offense struggled a little bit, but they did find their groove towards the very end, and they usually do that as well. So Derek Carr had a really good game, 25 completions and 40 attempts, 317 yards. Even he went for 300. So did Phillip Rivers on the other side, but a little bit more yardage. 2 touchdowns, 1 to my boy Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper, my God, their goal was to get this guy involved because this guy needed more touches. He needs to get more in the groove. He needs a damn end zone. He needs to find the end zone, and he did that. A bomb that got him into the end zone. He's a fast guy, man. He's a fast freaking guy. So Amari Cooper did work yesterday, and I think that really you have to give the ball to a guy like Amari Cooper. You can't have him be rusty. I know Crabtree is the red zone type player, which he showcased that again yesterday, but you need to get Amari Cooper involved because he is your future star, and he needs touches. He's a playmaker as well. So, and that's exactly what they did, and that's what the Raiders offense did still explode towards the very end as well. So yeah, Carr had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception though. 1 interception he threw to Rashard, but Rashard didn't turn his head enough or quick enough, and Rashard's so tiny that kind of went over his head. So I don't know about the interception. It was towards the beginning of the series. So speaking of Rashard had 8 attempts, 31 yards. The running game wasn't. I said the key was to run the ball, and we ran the ball with Owiwala as well. But we didn't get those first downs when we needed to put the game away, and that was. I mean, I felt like the play calling towards the end of the game the Chargers wouldn't be allowed to tie up the game if the play calling was still aggressive and we're still doing plays where we want to win. It felt just a little bit too easy, just too simple. It didn't have, the play calling to me was just run, and I get it, waste as much time as you can with that 20 seconds left and all that stuff, which is great, but just overall, I think the play calling towards the end, I mean, it was a 3 and out, and then the Chargers got the ball back and marching down the field. I mean, it was could have been better. It could have been better play calling towards the very end. But Mark Cooper with 6 receptions, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. Absolutely money. He was just killing it yesterday. And the chemistry between him and Carr, it's just sizzling. It's not red hot. This is a great first step to the game to many 100-yard games for Amari Cooper. So let's keep the ball rolling. But what's great was Crabtree coming up with that grab. I mean, he missed a couple grabs, which is uncharacteristic from Crabtree. He was dropping some passes. But he got 47 yards, 3 receptions. He would have had a little bit more receptions if he would have caught the ball. But that 1 touchdown was money in the bank. Absolutely great. DeAndre Washington, man. They used DeAndre Washington a little bit more, which was very interesting. They had Rashard and Washington back in the backfield because Latavius Murray was out, of course, with turf toe. I don't know what they're going to do with Latavius Murray when he comes back. I feel like this guy is just being pushed to the back. I think they want to rely on more of these younger, kind of faster guys. But, I mean, Latavius Murray would have got you. I mean, they're using Olawala, but Olawala is not a Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray is able to find actually creases and get into them. So, interesting. But I got to give it up really we have Seth Roberts. He pulled into 2 receptions, 22 yards. Janikowski, man. Janikowski didn't miss a field goal early on. That could have been huge and would have really helped out in the score. I wouldn't have to worry too much. But he was solid throughout the whole. After that, though, he knocked him like at least 4 out of 5. The defense, man, the defense really stepped up, especially Sean Smith. Sean Smith did get beat, though, by one play really, really bad. He wasn't even looking where the ball was. But Sean Smith did come up with another INT. I think that's, I believe, his second of the season. Khalil Mack was still a little bit quiet. I mean, he wasn't forced to be recommended like last weekend. Kyle Joseph getting his first INT. Welcome to the NFL, man. You're going to be a playmaker. You're going to be a future star for Oakland. Reggie Nelson, he did fine this game. I think he didn't do too bad. So did Hayden. Hayden did okay. It's just so the big plays where a tight end catches maybe a 8-yard gain, it turns into 20 yards. Like that's just it does not. I don't understand how that happens. I think some of the dial-ups for the defense. I mean, the course of coverage is just. We need to get better, man. We need to get better, but I do take my hats off for the Raiders. The Raiders were really, they got some takeaways. They got some turnovers. They got a fumble from fucking what's his name, Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon, 18 attempts, 69 yards with that fumble. I mean, he didn't go into the end zone, which is great. But Phillip Rivers was the guy that we had to put on his back. We got him maybe once, a couple times, but I felt like he needed to be rushed a little bit more. I feel like the defensive pass rush could have been a lot better. Should be a lot better moving on through the season. But this game was definitely they were getting Rivers to not complete as much. Not be the Rivers I've seen in the past, but in the present, he was definitely he was shaky. He was shaken throughout the game. He had 21 to 30 attempts, 359 yards. I say he was shaking and all that stuff, but he really just started coming back towards the end. But in the beginning, he was being locked down. Of course, a couple big plays here and there. It's going to lead to, of course, to a 1-2 and Antonio Gates. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. But I felt like the coverage of the Raiders needed. They can't slack off when they have the lead. I think that's the problem with the Raiders is they tend to slack off, or they hope that the time just gets wasted so they can win the game overall. But you have another heart attack type win here, and if it wasn't for the punter, we would have had an overtime type game. But yeah, 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Not a big wide receiver core for Phillip Rivers. Antonio Gates wasn't really too much involved. 4 receptions, 30 yards. Of course, he had that touchdown. T. Williams, 5 attempts, 5 receptions, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Benjamin, 7 receptions, 117 yards. So look at those 100-yard games. I say the names of the wide receivers are not household names, but they did do work last yesterday. But our guys, man, we started off pretty slow on the offensive side, but we prevailed. And what an intense, crazy ass game. I mean, honestly, the Raiders should have at least been. We should have won at least by 2 scores, but I feel like this team's getting stronger. I feel like this team is getting tougher, and that's the great thing about these close games is that we're tougher. We're able to come back. We're able to keep our composure. Derek Carr, even though he threw that pick, and he hasn't been throwing many picks this season, like 3? He's really he keeps his composure. He freaking high fives all his teammates. He tells them, let's go, and they suit up, they get ready, they play. And these are not boys here anymore. The Raiders are they're not boys. All right, they're men, because these men are finding ways to win, and they're capitalizing with the errors that the Chargers have done. But the one thing that the Raiders are still kicking themselves every single time is the penalties. The penalties where it should be a 3rd down and 3 is now a 3rd down and 8 or 3rd down and 10. It's just not. No, why are we still committing stupid penalties? And of course, the jawing of the mouth. I believe it was Sean Smith in there. It was just a lot of players just talking. And I know it's a rival game, but you got to keep your composure. If you want to be winners, you got to act like winners. But Amari Cooper is definitely a beast, and I can't wait to see what happens in Kansas City. I think Kansas City is going to be I think it's going to be a tougher matchup, honestly, than San Diego. I think Kansas City over there has a lot more weapons going on. want, and Alex Smith is such an elusive quarterback that our ends are gonna have to really play their position and really have to stay home and just make sure that Alex Smith doesn't move out of the pocket as much as he can. I think his throwing. I think the Raiders need a press. They need a press coverage. I mean, like the commentator said, that Sean Smith was backed up a little bit and he's just not used to playing that kind of loose. He needs to really press onto a guy and make some plays. I mean, he doesn't have one INT, which is great, but I feel like the Raiders defense could be a lot better and a lot more play calling, and sometimes they're not lined up when they should be lined up already. They're kind of just walking to their position. So there's a lot of things that needs to be fixed up. It needs to be fixed up for the next game, especially with Kansas City, who are known for their speed, they know how to come back as well, because their first game they came back with a huge deficit. So they're not playing too good of a football right now. I think the Raiders are the top contenders, especially now. I think we moved into first place. Broncos, we had no Simeon right now, so I believe that it's Raiders and Broncos right now that's owning this division. But if the Raiders want to really truly be contenders, they need to go. I would love to see them go undefeated like the years not a couple of years back when they went undefeated in the division. So we could do it. I mean, we're Kansas City. We are known to beat Kansas City. We're known to really hit them where it hurts. And Broncos is the one competitor and rival when they had Peyton Manning, but I feel like this is our division, and if we do everything right, if we get better along the way, I think good things are going to come. And if the offense could maintain their groove and the defense can gel more and get some turnovers and get some sacks and just really put pressure on the quarterback, I think we're going to have a great, solid year all the way to the second round of the playoffs. But let's see how it goes. Let's keep winning. There's a lot of 4-1 teams. There's a lot of 5-0 Vikings. So let's just get better. Absolutely. Kansas City, here we come. Raiders versus Kansas City. I will have my other video talking about the keys to beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Thank you guys for listening. Raiders are winning. That's exactly what we want. That's all we want. Just win, baby. This is the Just Win, Baby podcast, and we're going to be talking about the Raiders against Kansas City this upcoming week. So thank you guys for listening, and let's go Raiders. See you guys.